On Monday, we had our final inspection, and an issue came up with the indoor track. We elected to move, well, in conjunction with the State Special Olympics, we elected to move the competition to the football stadium, and we have every confidence that the event is going to go off without a hitch. I have with me our Director of Facilities and Special Events, Tom Moreland, and the Executive Director of the Special Olympics, Missy Strasberg. We can open to questions.
So what exactly is wrong with the track?
Due to the abnormally high humidity this summer, the track has not set yet, and while we projected that by next week it could be dry, we don't want to, have a safety concern for the athletes. So we just figured it'd be better just to move it to the football stadium.
George Martinez, Conference.AVI. Why did you make the commitment to Special Olympics if there was a possibility this could happen? And secondly, are you helping Special Olympics find an alternative venue?
So the first part of that, we thought that the timing was perfect with the Special Olympics. We really support their competitions and their mission. And so the timing was perfectly aligned with when we were hoping to open the field house. We thought it would be an amazing partnership between the university and the organization. While we felt that the timeline was doable, this was an unforeseen problem. So we're working very proactively with the Special Olympics to make sure the event is not compromised. And moving it to the football stadium, we feel is a really good match.
What's your reaction with the Special Olympics? How does the Special Olympics feel about it?
Yeah, well, certainly there's a certain level of disappointment that comes across in terms of how we feel about it, how our athletes are going to feel about it, and our supporters. From a positive standpoint, we have a great second option in the football facility. It's a new facility. It's something that's very, very public. Our athletes are very aware of it. They've seen it on TV through football or other hosted track meets. So we're actually very excited about the opportunity to participate in the football stadium.
Were contractual commitments violated?
I guess I can answer that. Not really. I mean, this was a donation. We decided that this would be a great opening. Unfortunately, we're not going to risk the safety of these athletes who've worked very hard all year to participate. So that's why we're working in conjunction with the Special Olympics to find the best possible backup scenario. And the football stadium, because it does have a track around the field, because it is ADA compliant, because it's a very public and very brand new thing, we thought it would be a great backup. But again, this was working in tandem to find the best possible backup location. So while we were hopeful, because we were working in tandem and because we had a great second option, it wasn't really a problem.
We knew the timeline would be tight when we were meeting with the university about the use of the new field house. We were very excited about being the first potential users of that field house. But one of the reasons why we were so excited to work with the university was because we knew that they had a secondary option in an amazing football track facility that we could use.
Mr. Facilities, this is the second time this year you guys have had to pull out of an event. You were supposed to host large-scale baseball and softball tournament, and there was an issue with the sod, and you had to pull out. What does this say about your staff that you're unable to complete projects and fulfill commitments?
Well, first and foremost, what RID touched upon, we couldn't see this as a circumstance that has to do with the weather. As much as we'd love to control Mother Nature, it's something we can't deal with. The humidity has changed this year. It's become much higher, so it's not something we could oversee. But on a more positive note, it says about our staff that we can take such a large and important event such as Special Olympics and take it from our brand new field house and then move it on to our outstanding track.
Thank you. Were there any other options for the track as far as its construction? Any other different materials you could have used, or?
Yeah, of course there is, but we're building one of the best indoor tracks in the country, if not the world. So we were looking to put in the best possible track possible. I know it's kind of reiteration, but we didn't want to go second class at all on this. We're going for the very best. So we only chose one very specific track.
Thank you.
Logistically, how are you transferring all of the setup at the field house over to the football stadium? How are you making those accommodations since the event is coming up really soon?
I'll take that question. We've hosted large-scale events at the track before, so this is almost a no-brainer for us, and we've done it in the very same timeline, hosting NCAA championships and conference championships within a one-week period. So our staff has done this before, we have experience doing it, and we don't see any hiccups whatsoever happening.
And on our side of things, my entire full-time staff, as well as we have about 100 volunteers at this point, are actually making phone calls to the athletes and their households checking in at a hotel location one day prior to the event starting, and at that point we will also distribute materials. So they understand that the facility has changed, the location has changed, and we have our PR directors working to contact media in particular about making sure that the word is out there that the venue has changed.
What are the budgetary implications of making this change, and how much state money will be involved in everything you just described?
I can answer that. Actually, so we donated the field house. That was part of our contribution to the Special Olympics, that we were going to donate the facilities. So the Special Olympics is not going to be impacted in their budget, and because this was our miscalculation, we are taking it upon ourselves to cover those costs. The main cost that we're kind of looking at, because the field house had a certain amount of parking we can't use right now, we are going to transfer that over to the football stadium. It's going to be free parking for all participants. The special events parking people have as a deal, basically. And additionally, we're going to have transportation sites. People can get on buses and they'll be transported to the stadium to make it easier for traffic. We also are really happy to announce that one of the donors to the track and field stadium was so kind of upset about what happened that they've offered to pay for both the parking and the buses, and we made sure that the buses would be ADA compliant.
So you're saying that there's no budgetary impact to the university itself, that the donor is covering all the related expenses for the change?
Yeah, we're really pleased about this.
Who's the donor?
I can't, they asked it to be anonymous.
What's happening with the University of Washington football camps that are supposed to take place that week on the football field?
Sure, I'll touch on that. First of all, we're not the University of Washington.
Yeah.
So what we have is a practice facility that's located right next door. So those camps are going to move over to our practice facility. The fields they're practicing on are the same grade as any type of NCAA field. Most importantly, a lot of those student athletes or high school student athletes are going to be able to practice on a grass field surface, a new synthetic surface, and a turf surface. So they'll get a brand new experience that they might not have seen at any other type of camp that they will see here.
Great, thank you.
Well, I understand and appreciate the mechanics of what you're doing, but don't you think this undermines the university's credibility to serve other organizations like Special Olympics and others? I mean, would there not be some kind of a chilling effect in potential community partners coming to you wanting to have events at your facilities?
Do you want to do that, Ashley?
Well, I can speak from our perspective. Despite the hiccup that we've had here in the last week with the facility, and again, we take some responsibility because we knew the timeline would be tight. We've had a great working relationship with this university. Not only, again, have they donated facilities for our use, but they have donated a lot of volunteer hours. We have several student athletes that will be helping out with the event. We're very, very excited about our relationship. I'm not sure, I can't speak for any other potential community partner out there and how they might feel about the university, but I can say we feel very positively about our relationship.
And just on the university side, we try very hard to work in tandem with the organizations that come to us. So we're very proactive. We really believe in the community and supporting the community that we live in. And so if these organizations do kind of have an issue with little hiccups like this, we really encourage them to work with us closely so that we can prevent things like that in the future and have good backup plans to make sure that no matter what happens, we've got a plan in place and we're going to do the best event possible.
From a facility standpoint, I believe it illustrates our ability to change with the times, whatever happens if there is some type of miscue. We do have a state-of-the-art field house, but we also have a state-of-the-art track, and we can utilize that so we can accommodate the Special Olympics this summer.
Any questions?
Meteorologist from Como News. I heard that there's going to actually be, or my prediction is that there's going to be a significant rainstorm this weekend. Do you have an alternative plan to using the stadium in case of weather considerations?
In regards to that, the event's next weekend, so the meteorology report for this weekend, I don't know if it plays a significant role. If that weather continues to pursue the next weekend, we obviously already have plans in place for inclement weather usage, and we'll just transfer those straight into the Special Olympics.
What are those plans?
What are those plans? They're very detailed. If you want to come by the office, we can give them to you, give you the information packet.
Great job.
Good job,